'Tis I. We all have a story to tell, the story of our conversion. For some, what God has done for them is so inspiring. Should you be a child in your walk with God, in your understanding of who God is, you will feel inferior to them. 1 Corinthians chapter 14 verse 20 says, "Brethren, be not children in understanding. Howbeit in malice be ye children, but in understanding be men." Because you're a child and you wear this competitiveness even with God's grace and mercy, love, you fail to realize that God can be glorified even in the most mundane thing. Maybe all you have to tell is how the religion that you're born into, at some point, it stopped being your parents' religion and it became yours. Maybe that's not the case. So, what's yours?
I'm religious because I found a group of people that believe the same as I do. And once you find that, you can become a part of a religion. But that doesn't mean that's where you stay, because you continue to grow. When I was in grade 2, I first became aware that Jesus loved me. And so I developed a personal faith, and I began looking for someone else who believed the same as I did. It wasn't long, and my parents were taking me to Sunday school, and that reinforced my faith because verses I read in the Bible comforted me and made me feel like it was a place I belonged. But when I became about 12, I began to realize within myself there was more. And so I started to read my Bible and find out if there was more than what I was being told. This continued even when I went to university, and I took a religious course on world religions. And I went to every church under the sun, I think, but 2. That was part of our course, and it really opened my eyes to what was going on religiously within the world. I found that I wasn't satisfied with the church that I had grown up in, and it became more and more of a discontent situation. After I left university, I was down in Toronto and I was attending Teachers College. And I kind of set it aside because, after all, I was 21 and life was full of adventure. But it wasn't long before I moved north, up near Sioux Lookout, Ontario. And I began to realize how beautiful God was, how wonderful God was, and how my faith was growing in Him. I looked back on things that happened in my life, and I realized that He had always been there for me and how He had helped me. Faith is the essence of things unknown, the substance of things hoped for. And I was looking and hoping to find more. I met my husband there, a wonderful man, who was not what I would call a religious man, but a very honorable and loving man. We then moved north, up near James Bay. No TV, no nothing, and so we read. And I read my Bible, I read Christian stories, and I began to know that there was far more going on in this world than what I had been taught. I was so excited as I checked these things out in my Bible and in other books on religion that people lent me because they knew I was interested. Some of them I very quickly set aside as not being the truth, and I wanted the truth in my religion. I wanted my truth to be founded just on the Bible, my religion to be founded on the Bible and the Bible only. I wasn't finding a lot of people like that. And so we moved from there to Thunder Bay. And in Thunder Bay, I met this wonderful couple. It turned out that they were in charge of the mission for the Salvation Army. And they lent us more books and we studied more. Now my husband is doing it with me. He's reading with me. He's studying with me. And we began to find out about prophecy and what the Bible had to say about prophecy. The more I studied prophecy, the more I knew I had to find a religion that included that in their beliefs. The future of God, not just the present of God, not just the past of God, but the future. Very quickly we were whisked away from there, and I was quite upset with God. I said, God, why are you taking us away from there when we're learning so much about you? But there was no answer. We were sitting in the living room on the floor because we had no furniture. But because of my husband's job, we had a TV that was about 12 inches by 12 inches, and an ad came on. Do you want to know more about the future and what God has in store for you? My husband and I just lit up like a Christmas tree, and we thought, this is exactly where we need to go to find out what's going on. We went. We thought it was just one meeting, but it turned out to be 27 meetings. We did all the materials that went with it and realized that these people actually believed the Bible. They believed everything written in it, which is what I believed and my husband now believed. They believed in the future of God. God wasn't just some dead thing in the past. It wasn't just something that could help us with our day-to-day things, which He can, but it was more. It was the future. And so I found a place where I felt like I belonged. That was 50 years ago. And I continue to study my Bible every day. And you know, I still believe I am in the right place, in the right church, in the right religion.